All right, guys. I'm here today to talk about some things that have happened over the last few weeks. And I kind of noticed, man, that, there's a lot of people who like to hear John come on and talk, but John just keeps saying the same things over and over again. So, I mean, it's some people want to hear him talk the same things over and over again. Some people are getting bored with it, and I know I am. You know, Uh, I'll have him on again, but we'll ask him some specific questions about some things that might be interesting. But he tends to run off and just start talking about the things that he thinks are interesting that aren't interesting to anybody but him. So, anyway, to make a long story short, I've had a lot of people that have, gotten in touch with me, through the show, wanting to, give me help or criticism or, tell me how I can build a better show, what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And they've offered to be, helpful. And, you know, I've, I've pretty much, you know, I've, I've parsed them out into different categories. Some of them were really helpful. Some of them weren't very helpful at all. And I had this one guy who wanted to, he wanted to tell me all this important shit that he thought he knew, right? And he was helpful in a way, and I was kind of listening to him because he knew a lot about technology. But the thing he doesn't know about is like what people really want to hear. I mean, he does know a little bit, don't get me wrong, but like I never really just put all my faith in his decisions. And what had happened and what happened was that I started finding out who he was as a person, and he is what's known as a Mammone. Right? He's an Italian guy, right? And he speaks Italian and all that. Okay, well, a Mammone in Italian is a mama's boy. That's a slang expression that we use to say mama's boy. A Mammone actually 60 Minutes, the show 60 Minutes did a segment on Mammones, mama's boys. In Italy, it's kind of a cultural thing in Italy. There are men who are in their 30s and 40s that still live at home with their mothers, right? They have relationships and everything with women. They have jobs. They go out, but their mother washes their clothes, fixes their lunch, makes their bed. So it's kind of a cultural thing over there. And it was kind of an interesting piece that 60 Minutes did because they wanted to explore that part of the world and the cultures there and all that shit, right? So this one guy that wanted to be my editor, was giving me all this information and all this stuff. He was one of these mamones, right? And I was listening to him, but I wasn't asking too many questions. I was kind of like just being his friend and stuff, right? But as things turned out, he turned out to be a super douchebag. I mean, a serious one, right? This guy is 40 years old and he hasn't worked in like 15 years. All right. He is the biggest mamon I've ever met in my life. Him and his mother shared a condominium, right? Now, so let me give you a little bit about this guy's background. His family had a cheese company, right? You know, a lot about cheese here. This is a generational thing. It went back, several generations. They became wealthy, really wealthy, like generational wealth. And eventually, man, like they owned land, and oh man, they had it. So, finally the cheese company was shut down, and then the people started dying off, and the only two people left is this guy and his mother, this 40-year-old schmevik, this Mammone, and his mother, who's like 70 years old, right? And so they're living in a condominium together, and he hasn't worked in 15 years. He lives off his mother, right? And he would say to me, like, I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, me and my mother are going out. Me and my mother are doing this, and me and my mother are doing that. I'm like, what? Okay. So anyway, I'm trying to work with the guy, so I'm trying to work around his schedule, but he has no schedule. He has none. He, you know, he has nothing to do all day. He has money. He has a car, okay? And him and his mother go out all the time, and they eat, and they shop, and they argue with each other, whatever they do. You know what I mean? Oh, they also own a house in Italy, a 6-bedroom house in Italy. Now, the mama's boy, he has a car, he drives. Oh, he was married to a woman, right? The woman, for 18 years, and they got divorced, I think, last year or something. The woman started talking to God. And when I say talking to God, I don't mean praying. I mean, she was having conversations with God, and she thought God was talking to her. Basically, she was a schizophrenia. She had schizophrenia. I'm not making fun of the woman. She has schizophrenia, all right? That can be treated with drugs, and I've seen people that were really out there that, and then once they get them on the drugs, they come back to, and they can be treated and brought back to reality. Anyway, the guy and the guy kept telling me that he was always sick and he had problems and health problems, but for years and years he was going through all these different health issues, but nobody could figure out what was wrong with him. He had all these hospital bills, and nobody knew what's wrong with this guy, right? So I'm listening to him and I'm thinking to myself, I'm listening and I'm taking it all in, right? I'm listening. To make a long story short, I get to the point with this guy, man, where like, I said, well, I don't, what are you doing? Like, I talk about this project we're doing here, and I don't feel so good today. I'm really hurt. My body feels so, I'm sore all over. There's nothing wrong with this guy. Nothing wrong with. He's a 40-year-old man. He's overweight. He's like 250 pounds. He's a big fat kid, right? Nothing wrong with this fool. My mother's bringing me some wonton soup. What the fuck? Listen, everything has his mother this, his mother that, right? So I'm listening, and I'm, day by day, this is going on, right? Me and my mother are out shopping. Me and my mother are out having lunch. I'm going over here with my mother. What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, so and his birthday is in August, right? He says, I can't wait for August, man. My birthday. I'm going to ask my mother if she'll let me come to New York and hang out with you. And we can go to all the mob hangouts and and take pictures. And I'm thinking to myself, the last thing in the fucking world I want to do is hang out with this fucking dummy. He's an overweight fucking Mammone. All right. He has never worked in 15 years. And he's hanging out with his mother, and he's claiming he's sick all the time, but he's not sick. He's got fucking. He's either when people think they're sick and they're not sick, they always think there's something wrong with him. He's an idiot. Anyway, his thing is he collects toys and video games, right? Toys and video games. So now what the fuck is that? So I think the toys are like action figures, you know, like that's the only kind of toy that I could see a grown up person, you know, collecting. And I think that's weird as shit anyway, you know what I mean? But and video games and coins, you know. But he has this thing for the mafia. He thinks he knows everything about gangs, and because he's one of these guys who's into all this criminal stuff. He loves all the criminal element stuff, you know, gangs, area brotherhood, mafia. He got all these opinions and shit. And what he is good at is he can fuck with that computer, with the technology. He can do that shit, right? So I'm trying to get him to help me with that, right? I don't give a fuck about all this other shit. So anyway, man, like he's always with his mother. I can't do it. So anyway, I finally cut a fucking like a nice hour and a half, video with Bobby Castile, and he was supposed to edit it. He says, well, wait a minute. He said, this is really time consuming. I said, yeah, okay. Well, you know, I don't feel good today. I can't do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes. Oh my God, I feel sore all over. I just can't, I don't know what. Maybe I have the bug. So it got to be like the third or fourth day, man. And I'm like, man, fuck you, you fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Listen, he was like, oh, I can't wait for my birthday. I'm going to try to talk my mother into letting me and you go to Italy. He wants to take me to Italy. He's going to have his mother pay for this shit. Just tell me they got money, right? They got a lot of money. I don't want to go anywhere with this fat fuck. You know what I mean? He's a fucking douchebag. You know, I'm trying to get him to help me. And that was, I thought we were supposed to be, you know, working on projects, you know. I thought he was into this shit. He was trying to help. He wasn't trying to do nothing. He was just trying to be fucking in my business like a fucking big fat fucking clown that he is. You know what I mean? Fat fucking lazy, no good, no working Mammone motherfucker. Okay? What a douchebag, man. I can't even imagine in my lifetime being that fucking soft and then blaming it on shit his mother just moved to Italy. Now he wants to go to Italy to move back in with her over there. You know, I can't wait to go to Italy. You fucking clown, man. What a fucking bitch, Holmes. You know what I mean? What a bitch. How do I fucking meet these people? I don't understand it. Anyway, I had to put up a fucking video, man. I wanted to get that out. You know what I mean? Like, wow, man, how does a person turn out? I swear to God, I don't understand it. But, hey, I got some other stuff coming up. Stay tuned. I'm working on some projects, and I'll be back, man, with more stuff. You know, I also have a day job, you know what I'm saying? And obviously I got to pay the rent. If somebody wants to send some money, do it. You know, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment. You know, all that helps the algorithm, you know. I got a Cash App on there if you want to send money, or just send it through the app, you know. Whatever you want to do, man. I thought I'd just put this up there because I didn't want everybody just sitting around thinking, where the hell did this guy go? You know what I mean? I want to let you know what's going on here. All right? So that's it for today. And I hope everybody is well. And, you know, we're going to make things happen here shortly. All right. This is the end of the video. Like, subscribe, and leave some comments.